Welcome! In this tutorial, we will show how to send tokens from one agent to another using the Microagents framework. One agent will send a payment request to another agent, who will then perform a payment transaction. Let's begin. For this example, we need to create a .py script. We will name it sendingtokens.py. We can now access our newly created Python script. We need to import the necessary modules from the Microagents framework. We then need to define two data models: payment request, that contains the attributes wallet address, that is the wallet where the payment should be sent to, amount, and denomination. Also, we need to define transaction info, that only contains the hash of the transaction. We then need to define the amount and denomination variables for the payment request. We can now proceed to define our two agents, Alice and Bob. Here we use the fundAgentIflow function to ensure Agent Bob has enough funds in their wallet to carry out the requested transaction. Now, Agent Alice will request Agent Bob some funds by sending a payment request. We use the onInterval decorator that every 10 seconds it sends a payment request to Agent Bob. This model includes Alice's wallet address and the previously specified amount and denomination. Now we need to give Agent Bob the ability to receive Alice's payment request, interpret it, and then send the requested tokens. We will create an event handler using the onMessage decorator that will be activated every time it receives a payment request. This sendPayment function takes three parameters: an instance of the context class, which provides contextual information during the execution of the event handler, a string representing the sender of the message, and the message itself of the payment request model, which contains the payment request details. Within the function, Bob logs an informal message indicating that the payment request had been received. Next, Bob performs a payment transaction to Alice using the ledger_send_tokens method. It takes Alice's wallet address, amount, and denomination from the payment request Alice sent. Also, Bob uses its own wallet to send the tokens indicated by ctx.wallet. After the transaction is completed, Bob sends a message back to Alice to inform her about the transaction. The message is created using the transaction info model with the tx hash obtained from the transaction response. The await ctx.send method is used to send this message to Alice. Now, we need to give Alice the ability to verify the transaction information that Bob just sent. This event handler is triggered when Alice receives a message of type transaction info from Bob. The event handler function is named confirmTransaction and takes three parameters: an instance of the context class, a sender of the message, and an instance of the transaction info model. Within this function, Alice logs a message indicating that it has received the transaction info from Bob. Next, the code uses the waitForTX2complete function to await the completion of the transaction specified by the tx hash received in the message. Once the transaction is completed, the code accesses the coin received field from the transaction response. It checks if the receiver address matches Alice's wallet address and if the amount received matches the expected amount. If the conditions are met, Alice logs another message indicating the success of the transaction. Finally, the agents are added to a bureau object for them to be run together. We are now ready to run our Python script. Make sure you activate a virtual environment with Microagents installed in it, and then run the following on terminal. Also, we will run Python sendingtokens.py. As you can see, Alice periodically sends payment requests to Bob, who sends the payment and sends the transaction information back to Alice for confirmation. You can see that the transaction was successful. Thank you for watching.